This is the team that changed the game. A squad so stacked, so dominant that they steamrolled the competition and left no doubt.
For Pippen. Oh, a faithful Scottie Pippen. Tony got it. Oh,
They were the greatest team ever assembled. 72 wins, 10 losses, a championship to finish it off. We're talking about the 1995-96 Chicago Bulls, a team that rose above basketball and became a legend. But what made them so unstoppable? Let's dive into the story of the team that shattered expectations and rewrote the record books. 1995, the year Michael Jordan returns to the NBA after a brief stint in baseball. His first run back, a little rusty. The Bulls got knocked out of the playoffs, and suddenly the world wonders, is MJ still MJ? But here's the thing about Jordan, you can't keep him down. That offseason, MJ locked in, and when the 1995-96 season tipped off, there was no more hesitation, no more questions. Jordan was back. And he meant business. It wasn't just about proving he still had it. It was about domination. The Bulls were about to go on the most jaw-dropping run the NBA had ever seen. But no one can make a dynasty alone, and MJ is no different. The Bulls were built to be unstoppable. Scottie Pippen, MJ's right-hand man, was still playing at an all-star level. But then came the X Factor, the wild card. The man who would take them over the top, Dennis Rodman.
Robert Horry and blocked by Dennis Rodman. What a great play by Rodman, blocking Horry.
Rodman was a force of nature, the best rebounder in the game, and a defensive nightmare for any opponent. He didn't care about scoring points, he cared about breaking you down, piece by piece.
Dennis Rodman put on an absolute rebounding clinic.
And Dennis was maybe a half inch taller than me at 6'6", 220, and he impacted the game a lot bigger.
And on the Bulls, he found the perfect role. The bad boy had found his new home, and with Jordan's leadership and Pippen's versatility, this team became an unstoppable force. The regular season kicked off, and the Bulls came out strong. By December, it was clear. This team was playing on a different level. Jordan was dropping 30 plus a night like it was nothing. Pippen was shutting down anyone in his path. And Rodman was grabbing 15 rebounds per game like it was a casual stroll in the park. They weren't just beating teams, they embarrassed them. They outplay everyone in the league, leaving everyone in the dust. 72 wins, just 10 losses. 72-10, an NBA record that seemed untouchable. Every night was a show. The Bulls were a traveling rock band, and their stage, the NBA hardwood. The regular season was epic, but it's the playoffs that define greatness. When the lights are brightest and the stakes are highest, only legends rise. And the Bulls, they did more than rise. They crushed the competition. First up, the Miami Heat. Jordan took them apart piece by piece. A sweep in 4 games. Next came the New York Knicks, longtime rivals. And then the Orlando Magic. Yes, the same Magic team that knocked Jordan out in the previous season. Revenge was on the menu, and the Bulls served it ice cold, sweeping the Magic.
As the Orlando Magic have been swept from the playoffs.
Every series felt inevitable. It was only a matter of time before the Bulls made it to the biggest stage, the NBA Finals. The Seattle Supersonics were the last obstacle to basketball greatness. They had the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year, Gary Payton, also known as the Glove, who was as tenacious as they come. They had Shawn Kemp, a freak of nature in the paint, but it didn't matter. This Bulls team had one goal: to end the debate. They weren't just playing for a championship, they were playing to be the best team ever. The Bulls went up 3-0 before Seattle clawed their way to 2 wins. But in Game 6, on the home court of the United Center, the Bulls shut the door on the Sonics. Michael Jordan, clutch as always, put on a masterclass. Finals MVP. Another championship banner for Chicago. And with that, the Bulls completed their greatest season. Let's break it down. 72-10 and a championship. It wasn't just the insane record. It wasn't just another ring. It was the way they owned the game. The swagger, the sheer dominance, the fear that rippled through every team they faced. The 1995-96 Bulls weren't just out to win, they were redefining greatness with every single play. The 1995-96 Bulls redefined the super team concept in a way that went beyond just having star players. What made the team truly special wasn't just their individual talent, but the way they came together as a unit. Their chemistry on the court was flawless. Every player knew their role and executed it to perfection. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman formed the core, but the entire team worked together like a well-oiled machine. They were unselfish, disciplined, and always on the same page, which made them unstoppable. Their will to win was unmatched. Led by Jordan, they approached every game with the mindset of champions. They didn't just want to win, they wanted to dominate, to leave no doubt who the best team was. That hunger and drive to be the best fueled their historic 72-10 season and their eventual championship. It wasn't just about setting records, it was about building a lasting legacy. That legacy still looms large today. Every team that tried to assemble its own version of a super team, whether it's the Warriors, the Heat, or the Lakers, has been measured against the standard the 96 Bulls set. They cast a long shadow because they didn't just win games, they changed how we define greatness in basketball. Every dominant team since has been compared to them, but none have quite captured that same magic. The Bulls set the bar for what a super team should be, and no one has been able to surpass it. Now, fast forward to 2016. The Golden State Warriors did something incredible, setting a new NBA record with a 73-9 regular season. That's one more win than the legendary 95-96 Bulls. People were already calling them the greatest team ever. With their high-powered offense led by Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, and their fast, exciting style, they dominated the league and were changing the game, just like the Bulls did 20 years earlier. But here's the key difference. When it came to the playoffs, the Warriors couldn't finish the job. They reached the finals and were up 3-1 against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were just one win away from cementing their place in history as the best team ever. Then the unthinkable happened. LeBron and the Cavs came back, winning 3 straight games to take the title. In Game 7, on their home court, the Warriors fell short. Their dreams of being called the greatest team disappeared with that loss. Yes, the Warriors won more regular season games than the Bulls, but in the end, it didn't matter. Greatness isn't just about winning games, it's about winning when it counts. The Warriors couldn't bring home the championship, while the 1995-96 Bulls did. They didn't just dominate the regular season, they finished by winning the title and sealing their legacy. In the end, the 73-9 Warriors will always be remembered for their amazing run. But without a championship, they fell short of the greatest honor. The Bulls, they completed their journey, proving that greatness is about winning when it matters most. The 72-10 Chicago Bulls didn't just make an impact on basketball, they completely revolutionized it. Michael Jordan's relentless drive, killer instinct, and ability to elevate everyone around him set the gold standard that every championship team since has tried to follow. He wasn't just about the highlights and points. He redefined leadership and winning. To this day, players and teams are still chasing the levels of greatness he embodied. But Jordan didn't do it alone. Scottie Pippen's unmatched versatility made him the perfect complement. He wasn't just Jordan's sidekick. Pippen was a defensive monster, a playmaker, and an all-around game changer. He set a new bar for what it meant to be a complete player, thriving on both offense and defense. Then there's Dennis Rodman, the ultimate wild card. Rodman's tenacity on defense and rebounding made him one of the most feared players in the league. He didn't need to score. His sheer hustle and physicality changed the way the game was played. Rodman dominated the paint, outworking anyone who stepped in his way. And behind it all was Phil Jackson, the mastermind with his triangle offense. Jackson's coaching wasn't just about plays. It was about creating a system that brought the best out of his superstars while keeping the entire team in sync. His approach and management of personalities elevated the Bulls to legendary status. Even after 28 years, no team has come close to what the 95-96 Bulls accomplished. Teams still chase their dominance, but none have matched their combinations of wins, swagger, and unstoppable chemistry. They weren't just great, they were untouchable. So, are the 1995-96 Chicago Bulls the greatest team ever assembled? No question. It wasn't just the 72 wins or the championship, it was how they did it. Jordan's brilliance, Pippen's versatility, Rodman's hustle, and Jackson's genius created a legacy that will never fade. The Bulls didn't just win, they changed basketball forever.